Hello there. This is an Ontario Knife Company. 498, I believe, is the model designation, but it is basically just a Marine Corps fighting knife. This is an old friend I have. If you look at it, I've not treated it kindly. I don't know where that came from, but I know probably over the years I've abused this knife probably more than any other knife I own. It has survived all of that with no issues. The only thing that I did to it that I regret doing is that, you see I have a choil here. I just put that in this blade before it went all the way to this plunge line, went all the way to here. And over time, what happens with knives like this, if you don't take care to correct it, yeah, no ma'am, thank you though, I appreciate it. That is my wife. I am not feeling that good, so she popped her head in to see if I needed anything. Bless her. Anyway, as I was saying, over time, if you have a knife that doesn't have a choil but it goes all the way to here, what will happen is if you're not careful in sharpening and you're not careful to correct it over time, you'll get kind of a recurve going. And they can get extreme at some point. And that's basically what happened to this knife. Is I just sharpened it up, sharpened it up, sharpened it up. It would get sharp and I would use it, and I didn't pay enough attention to what was going on. And I haven't used this knife in a long time. So I took it out yesterday and realized it had a little bit of a recurve. So I straightened that out, and it's still gonna, you're gonna see evidence of the recurve and what it did to the bevel here. And I'm doing this and pointing this out because that's something that all of us need to pay attention to when it comes to knife sharpening. So I put this choil in and I'm straightening it out, but the bevel, if I can find it, one of the sides on it, I don't know, here, I don't know if you can see, but I need to bring that back to where this bevel is completely straight and even, or as completely straight or even as I can get it. And that's what we're doing. This is a fantastic knife. I've got my soap and water mix. Like I said, this knife's probably been used more than any other knife, fixed blade knife that I own. This is a 140 grit Atoma diamond plate. And I'm correcting, so that's why I'm using this. This knife's seen many a hunting trip, and it's just, I've never had a single issue with it. It's always been a fantastic blade. It's 1095 steel, and it's just lovely. And so, hold on, I've got my other stones in progression sitting beside me, and they're just a little bit too close. So, and what I'm doing, I cut that choil in with a round file, and now I did some of the corrective surgery before I did that, and now I'm just going to finish up. So I will come a bit like that before lifting my arm. Notice I'm not going like this. Notice my arm's not moving there. If you do that, you'll end up with a really, really wide bevel. What you want to do is lift your arm. And on a big knife like this, your technique is even more important. And also what I'm doing in order to make sure that that stays straight, is when I come along this edge, I'm putting a bit more pressure here. I'm not lifting the blade up off the stone, but I'm putting a bit more pressure here because I want to straighten that steel out. It's pretty much almost straight as it is, but I think I can see just a little bit of recurve left, and so I'm gonna doctor on it. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically just raising a burr, same as I would anything else, but at the same time I'm working on corrective measures for this edge. And I'm probably not going to show the whole sharpening of this. I'm probably going to go, once I get this where I want it, I'm going to go through the progression from probably move to this, move from this to an India fine, and then to a soft, and then I'll either go to a hard or a black. Or I may just leave it at the soft. It won't hurt for it to have a bit of tooth that the soft gives. Actually, that's, if you really want to talk about it, I like my hard and my soft, or I mean I like my hard stones, my black and all of that. Okay, and I like a nice polished edge sometimes, but my favorite edge on a knife is a soft Arkansas. It's almost, for 90% of the blades you'll find, or probably more than that, 95% in my opinion, a soft arc is all you need on the thing. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to sharpen on this blade until I take that out, and then we'll be back. Alright, we're back. You see now that the edge is straight. There's no more recurve in it. That funkiness and wonkiness in the grind in the bevel is gone. I've taken this to the India fine. Now we're going to move to the soft Arkansas. And we removed the burr on the medium India. So now the soft Arkansas cuts, but for me anyway, it's also the beginning of the polishing process for the edge. One of the things you got to remember is just don't get in a hurry. The one thing I never do, if I can help it, sometimes I'll get to sharpening and I'll be like going through the motions. That's the worst thing you can do. Not really paying attention kind of deal. But the one thing that I try not to do is to get in a hurry. When I set the blade down, I want that same flipping angle every single time. Not close, although I'm not a machine and you're not a machine, and we're not going to set them down perfect every time anyway. But to the best of my ability, I want to set that knife down and do everything I can to achieve the exact same angle as I did the last time I set that knife bevel down on the stone. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but there are variations. And if you're doing all of that, lovely, then you're really beautiful. You're really not going to get anywhere. Or if you do, it will take you a long flipping time, and you'll learn. Don't get in a hurry. Alright, what's that looking like, feeling like? Nice. Lovely. It's shaven very nicely. Don't know if you saw that or not. I don't really, it's like you'll see me sometimes cut paper and stuff like that. Sometimes I want to show an edge, and a lot of times, like generally what I'll do is I'll cut paper when I'm using finer grits or finer stones, because what I'm looking for is what that knife feels like when it cuts, because it's really not telling you anything about how sharp the knife is, regardless of what people think. I'm not doing it for your benefit. I sometimes put it on video but all I'm doing is trying to hear and feel how that knife cuts the paper. So I don't do that often. The best way to tell for me how sharp a knife is this right here, and seeing if it will shave. And I can tell by the way it feels when it cuts the hair on my arm or my hand or my leg or wherever it is I try, because I developed that through years of straight razor honing, trying to get a line on, you know, what that might feel on my face, what it might feel like on my face and stuff like that. And I can tell the sharpness of a knife in those two ways a lot better than I could tell by cutting a piece of paper. So that's a fantastic knife. It is sharp all along the blade to the very tip. The bevel is fairly even on both sides. I can look at it. I don't know if you can see, but with a straight on profile you can see that bevel. It's nice and even. Lovely. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.